Early July in Auckland, New Zealand, as 52 starters assemble for round 7 of the World Rally Championship. The entry total was down in numbers on previous years, but this was hardly surprising, considering the events surrounding the World Rally Championship in the previous rounds. Following the tragic accident in Corsica, changes were demanded to the running of World Championship rallies. A few months ago, FISA brought in some new regulations regarding World Rally Championships, and they affected the AWA Clarion Rally of New Zealand. What were the changes that you had to make because of those?
I started off with the event with having 870 kilometres of special stage, and when FISA came out with the directive that we had to cut it down to 600, it meant we had to go out and replot the event to bring it down to in the 600 Ks. It also meant that no special stage was allowed to be over 30 kilometres long. So in our revamping the circuit, all the special stages, we had to go and try and keep the flow throughout the country the same, so that, you know, we weren't doing too much touring. But we managed to get it down to our 600 kilometres and the stages within 30 Ks, and I believe everyone's going to enjoy the event. It may be a little bit quicker than previous years, but it'll still be enjoyable.
Special Stage 1 was held in the grounds of the Auckland Domain. The field was headed by 1985 world champion Timo Salonen of Finland, driving a Peugeot 205 Turbo 16E2. Salonen won this event last year for Peugeot, and many were picking him as a likely winner. But he's had a bad season so far, with only a second placing at Monte Carlo. of Finland led the three-car Lancia assault on the event. For Lancia, the New Zealand rally was a critical one. They trailed Peugeot by 19 points in the World Manufacturers' Championship, and they had to win here to keep their title hopes alive. Marco Alain also was keen to win, as it had been over 2 years since he'd won a World Championship event. Juha Kankkunen was making his third appearance in the New Zealand rally. His two previous starts had ended in non-finishes for Toyota. Kankkunen began the event with a 19-point lead in the Drivers' Championship in his first season for Peugeot. He was keen to consolidate his position. Italian Massimo Biasian's entry was not confirmed until after the previous round at Acropolis, adding more strength to Lancia's challenge to Peugeot. All of his rallying had been confined to European events, being European champion in 1983. He came with a big reputation and at 28 years old has the makings of a future world champion. Mikael Eriksson was having only his second rally drive in one of Lancia's powerful Delta S4s. He was recruited to the works team following the tragic death of Lancia driver Henri Toivonen at Corsica. He was still coming to grips with the car. Malcolm Stewart led the New Zealand contingent. His entry was only confirmed at the last moment when the Audi dealers of New Zealand provided sponsorship. Reg Cook led a two-car Nissan team. Cook drove the 240 RS used by Sheikha Mehta in the 1985 rally. Tony Teasdale's entry in a Metro 6R4 created much interest. Although running in essentially clubman specs, it was still expected to be a strong contender for the leading New Zealander title. Subaru entered a three-car works team of four-wheel drive RX turbos, with New Zealander Possum Born expected to mount a strong challenge for the Group A title. Sweden's Kenneth Eriksson, driving a Volkswagen Golf GTI, was also expected to go well in the race for the Group A title. He's currently leading the Drivers' Group A World Championship. Expatriate Rod Millen made a welcome return to New Zealand, now rallying his own developed Mazda RX-7 four-wheel drive successfully in the United States. He drove the Neil Orport prepared Group A Mazda 323 four-wheel drive. Austrian Rudi Stoll came to New Zealand with a Group A win at Acropolis. He blew the engine of his Audi 80 Quattro when it first started on arriving in New Zealand, and so ran the rally with a motor 60 horsepower less than planned. Neil Orport was quite spectacular through the Auckland Domain stage. After the public road stage in the Domain, the rally headed north with the second special stage in the Riverhead Forest. Kankinen set the early pace, opening up a 10-second lead over Alain's Lancia. The Group A battle was to be a close one all day. Possum Born set fastest time in his class in this stage and held a narrow 2-second lead from the Volkswagen GTI of Kenneth Eriksson. Rod Millen's Mazda was a further 1 second behind Eriksson. Stuart Eyre set the fastest time for local drivers, but his Mazda RX-7 expired before the end of the leg. Special Stage 4, and the battle for the lead continued at a hectic pace. Juha Kankinen came through second fastest and held a slender 1 second lead over Marco Alen. Alen took back 9 seconds on the stage from Kankinen and began a succession of fastest stage times. He broke Salinen's 1985 record for the stage by over 30 seconds. Timo Salinen was somewhat off the pace, being slowed by turbo problems. He held third equal place with Biasian 36 seconds behind Kankinen. Biasian settled into his role easily, letting the leaders charge ahead, yet maintaining a reasonable contact with them. Tony Teasdale had taken his Metro to the head of the local drivers, yet his lead was only 5 seconds from the Audi Quattro of Malcolm Stewart. Neil Allport also chased hard, being only 6 seconds behind Teasdale. Reg Cook was plagued with gearbox problems and dropped back 39 seconds behind Teasdale. Ericsson set fastest time in Group A on Special Stage 4. He held a 3-second lead over Possum Bourne's Subaru. Special Stage 5, a short 7.8 kilometre stage, saw Alen grab the lead by 1 second. Kankinen kept the pressure on Alen and continued to open up a handy gap of 42 seconds on Biasian and 52 seconds on Ericsson. The battle for the leading New Zealander was just as close. Teasdale continued to lead, but only by 2 seconds from Stewart. Allport was just 1 second behind Stewart. Ericsson led Group A, but by only 1 second from Bourne. Alen set another fastest time on Special Stage 6, taking 14 seconds off the record. He now led Kankinen by 15 seconds. Only 3 seconds separated the leading New Zealanders. Stewart now led from Teasdale and Allport. With 3 longer stages ahead, Allport had problems with the dust from Stoll's Audi 80 Quattro. Stoll, however, had other problems. Graham Crawford also had problems. Jim Stewart also found the banks. A hasty service for Lancia at the end of Special Stage 6.
How's it gone so far, Marco?
Well, you know, this morning is going well, you know, I'm not having yet in technical problem and, you know, everything going well.
And you're leading at the moment?
Yes, I am leading now, you know, in not too much, not many, but anyway, I'm leading now.
And you're quite confident of the roads ahead?
Yes, this road is good, you know, in here, and, you know, like I said before, I hope not coming technical problem like all rallies, other rallies this year for me.
Special Stage 8, and Alen was again fastest. His lead over Kankinen was still only 18 seconds. The Peugeots had problems with their soft compound tyres on the leg's latter stages, although this didn't seem to stop Kankinen from throwing the car around the twisty sections. For Timo Salinen, it has not been a good day. He was fourth, 1 minute 52 seconds behind the leader, but worse was to come. His Peugeot was hit by the Toyota of Japanese driver Yamaguchi on the touring section, the rear end being nearly demolished. Hasty roadside repairs got the car mobile again, but he lost 26 minutes in road penalties and dropped to 40th place. By the end of the leg, he'd got back 20 places. Malcolm Stewart continued to lead the New Zealanders, but was only 9 seconds in front of Tony Teasdale. Neil Allport was still third local driver, but now 1 minute 30 behind Stewart. He dropped back in this stage, losing over a minute while stuck on a fence he hit. Ericsson began to draw away in Group A, gradually increasing his lead as the leg progressed. On the 3 last stages of the leg, in the dark back to Auckland, he really wound it up and even beat all the Group B New Zealand cars on each stage. 1985 National Rally champion Brian Stokes was having a good day. Now driving a Group A Toyota Corolla, he was 16th overall. Service for the Lancia team at the end of what had been a hectic leg one.
I spoke to you early in the day. You felt quite happy with a small lead then. How do you feel now at the end of the first day?
Well, you know, I have a small electrical problem in before last stage, and that means I played a little bit with Juha, but I am still leading, and I hope tomorrow is no technical problem like today in this electric problem.
The leaderboard at the end of leg one showed how close the battle for the lead had been. Alain's Lancia led by just 10 seconds over the Peugeot of Kankkunen, with Alain's Lancia teammates driving to instructions and holding 3rd and 4th comfortably overall. The battle for leading New Zealander was equally as hectic. Malcolm Stewart's Audi Quattro led Tony Teasdale's Metro by only 12 seconds. And in the Group A chase, Sweden's Kenneth Eriksson had opened up a 43-second lead on Possum Bourne's Subaru. Leg one proved to be the most costly for retirements. Mark Jennings in the Subaru withdrew at the end of stage 2 with engine problems. Stephen Morris's Corolla was out after the first stage. Ken Adamson's Corolla blew a head gasket. Kenya's Frank Tundo rolled his work Subaru over a bank, and Yoshinori Yamaguchi of Japan withdrew his Corolla after 2 collisions, and Stuart Ayres' Mazda RX-7 was also out at the end of the leg. In contrast to the dust of day one, leg 2 began in very wet conditions with a short publicity stage around the Manukau City shopping centre before moving south into the Maramarua forest and 2 stages in there. After the forest stages and publicity stage, Alain's Lancia led the Peugeot of Juha Kankkunen by 11 seconds. Malcolm Stewart was fastest New Zealander on 9 of the first 14 stages of the rally. In the 11.5 kilometre second forest stage, though, Stewart spun and damaged the rear fuel lines of his Audi Quattro, and although he completed the stage, he had to withdraw. Tony Teasdale now became first New Zealander and 5th overall in the Metro. He was now a clear 2 minutes 30 ahead of the Nissan of Reg Cook. Leg 2 began sadly for the Subaru Works team and their chase for Group A honours. Following the death of one of the Japanese service crew after a motor accident late in Leg 1, instructions came from Japan for the team to withdraw from the rally. This left Kenneth Eriksson with a clear lead over the Mazda of Rod Millen. Although running down the field, Timo Salonen in the Peugeot was determined to get as close to the leaders as possible. By the end of this leg, he was 11th overall, but still over 31 minutes behind the leader. On special stage 16 at Hamilton's Mystery Creek, Juha Kankkunen finally broke a 2-year jinx by completing the stage without any problems, and even recorded fastest time in the process. Gary Smith, driving the ex-Russell Brooks Opel Manta, found the agricultural complex a bit mysterious. Persistent rain made the Mystery Creek stage quite a challenge. Three short tarmac stages near Cambridge followed Mystery Creek, and on the first two, the three Lancias were fastest. At the end of the second tarmac stage, Alain had opened up a lead of 17 seconds over Kankkunen. Neil Allport began a determined charge on the leading New Zealander, Tony Teasdale. He was trailing Teasdale by 2 minutes 43, but was only 12 seconds behind Reg Cook. However, he was soon to catch Cook up. South Islander Brian Stokes held an impressive 11th place overall. He was over 20 minutes ahead of the next car in his class. Mr. Consistency, Ray Wilson, in his Starlet, was equally impressive at 13th overall and more than 12 minutes ahead of the next car in his class. Despite the atrocious weather conditions, some spectators didn't lose their enthusiasm. While they assembled at the end of the last tarmac stage, the rally action began 14 kilometres away. Kankkunen set fastest time and closed the gap on leader Alain to 15 seconds. The wet conditions on the Mangataltari Road stage were a bit too tricky for Lancia's Mikael Eriksson. Tony Teasdale's Metro had wheel stud problems in this stage, and his handy lead was whittled down to just 31 seconds by the end of the leg. Neil Allport seemed to find his rhythm about now and started to record a series of quickest times amongst the New Zealanders. Paddy Davidson inherited third-placed local driver in this stage from Reg Cook when Cook's Nissan's electrics failed. Davidson actually stopped to help Cook in the stage, but still came out 10 seconds ahead. Kenneth Eriksson's Group A Volkswagen made easy work of the Group A race. He led Millen by over 3 minutes. Sensationally, in the last special stage of the leg, Juha Kankkunen was 17 seconds faster than Alain. The two Finns went to the service break first equal.
You started the day 10 seconds behind Marco. Where are you now?
We are now 1 second behind him, and actually for day's work it's really nothing, 9 seconds.
And you're happy with the way the car's gone? And
yeah, we are really happy with the car. The problem today has been that the roads have been really slippery, and especially now in the night time it has been a little bit foggy. So it's difficult to find the braking points and things such as. But Marco has made us nice tracks in the forest, so it makes us a little bit easier.
what about tomorrow?
He's still making the track, so we try to enjoy it, and maybe we have to do something, not to just enjoy his tracks.
So you will attack tomorrow, do you think?
We'll see tomorrow when we wake up.
The race was equally as fierce for first-place New Zealander Tony Teasdale, just ahead of Neil Allport.
Here we are, Tony, at the end of the second night. You started just behind Malcolm. Now you must be feeling pretty good.
Well, we always thought that we could catch Malcolm. This morning, though, in Maramura 1, he went very fast. And, you know, we didn't quite have the right tyres today. They weren't quite suitable for the very muddy conditions. So we didn't want to take a risk. And then on the next one, it seems he overdid it somehow, so that, you know, care paid to our advantage in the end. So it's just a question of going fast enough, bearing in mind the condition of the car. And if the car's fine, we'll be going real quick, and if we've got a problem, we'll just be cruising a bit. So it's pretty much under control at the moment.
The halfway point of the rally had an unprecedented situation in world rallying, a tie. Kankkunen and Alain were a clear 3 minutes 56 seconds ahead of Biasian and 6 minutes 12 in front of Mikael Eriksson. Tony Teasdale's lead for first local driver was 31 seconds from Neil Allport. During the day, Rod Millen closed the gap on Kenneth Eriksson in Group A, but was still 3 minutes 25 behind the Swede. There were only 3 withdrawals during Leg 2. The Subarus of Possum Bourne and Mike Kirkland, and the Malcolm Stewart Audi Quattro. Day 3 began as Day 2 had ended. Marco Alain and Juha Kankkunen recorded equal fastest time on the first stage of the day in the Rotoehu Forest. But in the longer 24-kilometre stage following, Kankkunen grabbed a slender 2-second lead. Neil Allport began the leg in a determined manner, and after the 2 Rotoehu Forest stages was trailing Tony Teasdale by only 6 seconds. Throughout the previous 2 legs of the rally, Reg Cook had been plagued by problems, and these seem to continue. Timo Salonen started the day in 11th place, and with the Peugeot handling problems now sorted out, he set 4 fastest times on the day's 6 stages. Special Stage 23 in the Rotorua Forest provided plenty of rally viewing. At the front of the field, Kankkunen had extended his lead over Alain to 14 seconds by the time they'd reached the start of Special Stage 26 in the Tarawera Forest near Kawarau. However, the organisers were forced to cancel this special stage when a forestry vehicle blocked the road. For Neil Alford, this was a lucky break. Early in the stage, he'd spun and got stuck and had to be pulled out by Rod Millen. The last stage of a shortened third leg was held in the Rerewhakaitu Forest. By this time, Marku Alen was feeling the pressure of the day. He had little option but to attack, and that he did with a vengeance. Peugeot's instructions to leader Kankkunen were to take it easy through the ford for fear of damaging the car. Despite the cautious start, Kankkunen set second fastest time, beating Alen by 2 seconds. However, Timo Salonen had his own ideas on handling the tricky water crossing. He set fastest time on the stage, 8 seconds faster than rally leader Kankinen.
Car coming.
This special stage was the turning point in the rally for Neil Allport. He beat Teesdale by 38 seconds and moved into a handy lead as first New Zealander. Paddy Davidson continued to make steady progress. He was 9th overall, 3rd New Zealander, 58 seconds ahead of teammate Cook. The approach to the Ford was varied. Some negotiated it successfully, others did not.
You reckon that's Commodore territory?
That was a good stage, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a bloody beauty.
For Neil Allport back in Rotorua at servicing, it was a notable occasion. It was the first time in 5 international rallies that he'd entered that he'd finished the 3rd division.
Neil, you're leading New Zealander at the end of day 3. How do you feel?
Very good, actually. You know, it's been a funny sort of a day, one way or the other, and we started out good this morning and we were quite happy, and then it stopped, stage cancelled, and things went a bit flat in the next stage after we had a bit of an off just at the start of the stage, unsettled me a bit, but I went into the last stage, tried some new tyres on the back, and we were very fortunate to come out of there with a good stage time, and we're very happy, and I think very comfortable for tomorrow. I think hopefully tomorrow will be a good day.
You started the day equal with Marco, now you've got a small lead. Are you pleased with the day?
Yeah, I'm very pleased because everything went well and we beat Marco in every stage today. 21 seconds, it's not much, but it's lead anyway, and it's good to start for tomorrow front and not 21 seconds behind.
Do you think, will there be any difference being the first car on the road as to the last days when you've been behind Marco?
I don't think so, that there is not so many big difference. I think tomorrow most of the stages I hope will be quite dry, so then it doesn't matter so much. But if it's raining or something, then there is muddy places, and if you are first car on the road you can't see those much, and then it's a little bit more how you say, dangerous or slippery.
Do you think the stages tomorrow will suit your car?
I think the first 2 stages, they are quite fast. So they are good for Lancia also, I think. But after Vaitomo, there is 3 stages, long ones, and very twisty, so I think those are good for us.
Will you be going flat stick tomorrow, or?
Not flat, but if you, how you say, 99.5%.
With one leg remaining, Juha Kankkunen held a 21-second lead over Marco Alen's Lancia, with a further 6 minutes 27 back to third place, Massimo Biasian. Fourth place was held by Mikael Eriksson, 9 minutes exactly behind the rally leader. Neil Orport was to start the final day, 29 seconds ahead of Tony Teasdale. In Group A, Kenneth Eriksson was 3 minutes 56 in front of Rod Millen. There were 2 retirements from leg 3. David Thexton's Mazda blew a diff, and the Toyota Starlet of Tetsuo Sano of Japan drowned in the Ford. The final leg of the rally took the cars through the Puriora forest on their way back to Auckland. Marco Alen and Lancia knew that the early stages would decide whether they had any chance of closing the gap on Kankkunen's Peugeot on this last day. Kankkunen simply flew the stage, taking 25 seconds off Alen. Alen could only manage third fastest time, even losing 14 seconds on the stage to Salinen's Peugeot. For Reg Cook, the problems continued. He was down on his luck and his rim after having punctured 7 kilometres into the stage. Cook lost nearly 3 minutes to Neil Orport, who continued to lead the local drivers. The next stage was a 27-kilometre stage south of Takawiti.
First car through.
Alen continued to drive hard. Despite his best efforts, he was making no impression on Kankkunen, continuing to lose time with each kilometre. Salinen kept battling. He set a series of second fastest times, yet knew that one of the Lancias ahead would need to drop out if he was to improve on his 5th placing. For Kankkunen, the morning had gone to plan.
How's the morning gone, Juha?
Oh, quite all right. We have been fastest on these third stages and so it's been a nice morning for us.
What's the difference now to Marco?
1 minute, 1 second.
And you're going to keep going flat?
No, we are not, I think, going flat, but 95.
95 now. It was 99.5 last time.
Yes, and now it's 95.
Now 95.
Yeah.
You feeling confident?
Yeah, quite all right.
That's good. Good luck.
Thank you.
As the cars headed into the rally's longest special stage, Kankkunen had to do little else but keep going. Marco Alen reflected on the morning's battle.
Well, you know, not so good. Juha is going very well, you know, Juha now taking super time, you know, in first and second stage this morning, and that means I am far away with Juha now.
Do you think you got any chance of catching him?
Okay, we will see after this stage, but after may be difficult, you know. I don't know why. It's maybe too much wet in road or something. His car is anyway, I go flat, but time is very bad.
Try as he may, his Lancia could not match the speed of the Peugeots. On the first 6 stages of the final leg, he had to be content with third fastest time. Massimo Biasian did everything asked of him by Lancia. Although unable to match the pace of the 2 leaders, he had kept his car going to the end. He was 8 minutes down on Kankkunen. Sweden's Mikael Eriksson made a promising showing in only his 2nd drive in the Delta S4. His 4th placing overall was a solid performance and showed he had much potential in the future. Neil Allport had shown a new maturity in his driving. He set fastest local time on this stage. For Allport's nearest rival, Tony Teasdale, special stage 31 ended his challenge for first place New Zealander. A stone lodged between the disc and caliper on a rear wheel cost him 54 minutes in penalties. Teasdale's problems promoted Paddy Davidson to 2nd New Zealander, although over 8 minutes down on Allport. Kenneth Eriksson's faultless and impressive drive in the Volkswagen gave him an easy Group A victory over Rod Millen in the 4-wheel drive Mazda 323.
Your first time in New Zealand and first in Group A, you must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, I'm very happy for my result, and I'm very happy.
And your position in the World A Championship looks pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Coming back to New Zealand?
I hope so next year.
Good luck, well done.
Wayne Pittams in a Subaru RX Turbo started the rally in 29th place and finished in an impressive 14th place despite losing 13 minutes of penalties on day 1. Just in front of Wayne Pittams was the trusty Ray Wilson Toyota Starlet, finishing another international with a high placing. As the rally's 2 final stages were completed in the Maramarua forest, some didn't seem to want to complete the event. However, Tony Ornstein did finish. Marco Alen gained a consolation fastest time on the rally's final special stage. However, the margin between him and winner Kankkunen was 1:40.
Here we are, Marco, at the end of what's been quite a hard rally for you.
Yes, you know, in good fight, but you know, you not win. That means I am not so happy, but you know, in second is second and first is first. That's the difference, you know.
But what about the rest of the season now for yourself and for Lancia?
Well, it's, you know, it's coming difficult. Yes. But you know, everybody go now to Argentina, and after Argentina looking how it's going, but it's not so easy.
Juha Kankkunen's victory consolidates Peugeot's position in this year's World Championship for makes, as well as Kankkunen's in this year's Drivers' Championship.
Congratulations, Juha. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done. It's been a good day for you.
Fantastic day and fantastic 4 days, I can tell you, when we had never have had this kind of competition before. And Markku make it really fantastic.
It's been a real rally all the way through for 4 days.
Real rally and that was good.
Yeah. So this must make you a little bit happier for the World Championship now?
For sure, I mean, get some points more and it makes Peugeot happier also, I think, because there were 3 Lancias pushing behind it.
Well, there he is, car number 3, the overall winner, Johan Parkkinen from Finland. And of course, it was
With recent FISA regulations for future World Championship rallies, it's the last we'll see of Group B supercars in New Zealand. What a dramatic last 4 days they've been. Auckland, New Zealand, a sunny day in late June as the field assembles for the start of leg one of the 1985 AWA Clarion Rally of New Zealand. By every count, this was to be the best ever international rally held in New Zealand. A record 7 factory teams were entered: Audi, Peugeot, Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, Lada and Daihatsu. Field of 69 entries included 22 from overseas, 9 of whom were private entries. The organisers were extremely heartened that they were able to attract such a high-class field to New Zealand, so far away from the heart of world rallying in Europe. The field was led away by Stig Blomqvist, last year's winner, driving Audi's supercar, the Sport Quattro. Audi's main opposition was expected from Peugeot, who entered 2 of their new supercars, the 205 Turbo 16s for Finnish drivers Ari Vatanen and Timo Salonen. Woodhill Forest, north of Auckland, the second of 46 high-speed stages covering a total of 900 kilometres. Blomqvist was fastest, the long, fast section suiting the powerful Sport Quattro. He took nearly a second per kilometre off the time set by Volterall in an A2 Quattro the previous year. Ari Vatanen made a welcome return to New Zealand, many remembering his dramatic efforts in 1977 and 1979. Already he was down on Blomqvist by 21 seconds, holding 4th position. Volterall, who stunned the opposition with his speed on the first day in last year's rally, drove the second Works Sports Quattro. At this early stage, he was a close second to Blomqvist, trailing by only 4 seconds. For Bjorn Voldegaard, the day began badly. His co-driver, Hans Thorsalis, was too ill to take part, so a French journalist, Michel Lucerne, took his place. Difficulty with the pace note saw Voldegaard well off the pace, but worse still, he stopped in the stage with gearbox problems, and his rally virtually ended there and then. Timo Salonen, with 2 World Championship wins already under his belt this year, showed his true class in the Peugeot. Having always performed well in New Zealand, he was regarded by many as the favourite to win this event. On practice day, he showed some of the technique and style that has him leading the Drivers' Championship by 18 points at the moment. Fresh from his first World Championship win in this year's Safari Rally, Toyota's Juha Kankkunen found the early pace very hot. With Voldegaard's demise, Toyota's hopes now rested with Kankkunen. The Toyota already trailed Blomqvist by 1:25 seconds. Kenyan Shaker Meta led the Nissan team in the new, lighter, more powerful evolutionary 240 RS. Surprisingly, he trailed local Nissan Works driver Reg Cook by 30 seconds. The entry of 2 Russian Works Ladas outside Eastern Europe was a notable feature of the rally. The seeding of Strassus Brunze at 9th was to pose problems for New Zealand's Reg Cook as he caught the Russian several times during the day. Despite trailing the Lada's dust, Cook was fastest New Zealander on 6 of the day's 12 stages. Driving the ex-Hannu Mikkola Audi Quattro, Malcolm Stewart settled into an easy rhythm. Not having much rally driving in the car before the International, he was content to take things steadily. He trailed Cook by 11 seconds. Neil Allport promised much in his Mazda RX-7. He'd been the leading New Zealander on several previous Internationals without finishing. He trailed Cook by 23 seconds at this early stage. Paul Adams and the Toyota Corolla led the Group A challenge against the powerful Works Subaru team. Adams showed exceptional speed to be already 1 minute ahead of the leading Subaru of Kenyan Mike Kirkland. The Subaru Motorsport Group of Japan showed their serious intent by entering 4 Works models of their new four-wheel drive RX turbos. New Zealander Jim Donald made a welcome return to international rallying in a Nissan 240 RS. He had the misfortune of running out of petrol in this leg, incurring a 4-minute penalty, which dropped him back to 34th place. Immediately, the pattern of the rally was established. The Audi and Peugeot supercars separated themselves from the rest. The Audis were revelling in the fast gravel stages, with Blomqvist lying a close second to teammate Rawl. Ari Vatanen was lying 4th, 36 seconds down on Rawl. Rawl led Blomqvist by 12 seconds after special stage 4. His engine was revving at 1,000 RPM less than normal, and this seemed to make him drive with even more determination. The 4 leading drivers were within 4 seconds of each other in special stage 4. Salonen held 3rd place in his Peugeot. He trailed Blomqvist by 6 seconds and Rawl by 16. Juha Kankinen fell further from the leaders with each stage. After 4 stages, he was down by 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Shaker Mehta also found his Nissan well off the pace, even having 2 New Zealanders in front of him. He trailed Reg Cook by 42 seconds and was 3 minutes 46 seconds down on Rawl. Possum Bourne started to move his Subaru more quickly and made up 11 placings in 2 stages to lie 17th overall, but still more than 2 minutes down on Paul Adams, who led Group A. Tahitian Denis Menestria found himself in some difficulties in special stage 4. With assistance from willing spectators, he managed to get mobile again, his car seemingly suffering little worse than panel damage. Service for Peugeot at the end of special stage 5. The cars were not handling well and hasty work was done on the suspension.
Ari, how's it gone so far?
Well, I think I'm still getting used to it. I've tried to get into a right groove, right rhythm, and we have had a couple of spins, and so I'm not in the right gear yet. But anyway, it's a long rally, so I must not get excited about this.
And what about the car? Has that gone all right?
Yes, thank you. Yes, no problem at all. Technically, just we lowered the suspension before the rally, maybe a little bit too much to the height where we haven't had it before, and now I'm raising it back to normal.
Where are you at the moment behind?
I'm fourth. I'm fourth behind Walter, Timo, and Stig, but not far behind Stig. But it's very early days now.
Good, thank you. How has it gone so far, Seppo, for you and Timo?
Well, nice and smooth. No problems, and the driving's been, if not fast enough, but anyway, no mistakes done so far.
Apart from special stage 2, which he won, Stig Blomqvist seemed uncharacteristically off the pace. On no other stage during the day did he record better than 4th fastest time, and by special stage 7 was in 4th place, 1 minute 54 seconds down on teammate Rawl.
tilted suspension settings seemed to make the Peugeots handle better, and the charge on leader Rawl was on in earnest. The Peugeots won all of the day's remaining 5 special stages. Ari Vatanen set fastest time in this stage and the last 2 stages. Rawl still led the field, driving the Sport Quattro he last used in Corsica. Although still down on revs, the sheer brute power of the Audi kept him ahead of the Peugeots. Timo Salonen was only 1 second slower than teammate Vatanen. He set the fastest time on the next 2 stages and began gradually taking seconds back from leader Rawl. Reg Cook was still the leading New Zealander and 6th overall. He had a 61-second lead over Malcolm Stewart's Quattro. On the longer stages, Cook was continually troubled by the dust of Stasis Brunza in the Lada, catching and passing him frequently during the first day. Neil Allport was 3rd New Zealander and 1 minute 17 seconds down on Cook. He was 9th overall. Inky Tulloch drove steadily through the day. He was 12th overall and 6th New Zealander. Mike Montgomery pushed his Mazda RX-7 along at a good pace, but found one corner particularly tricky in special stage 7. Stuart Eyre and another Mazda RX-7 had been driving at great speed all day. He was 11th overall, just behind Paul Adams, who easily led Group A from 3 Subarus. Ray Wilson easily led his under 1300cc class by 6 minutes at the end of the day and was an amazing 19th overall. As the cars headed back to Auckland through the darkness, Volta Rawls' Audi Sport Quattro still led the field, but the gap back to Timo Salonen's Peugeot was only 16 seconds. Ari Vatanen had the other Peugeot in 3rd place, just 60 seconds behind the leader. Stig Blomqvist was 4th, a further minute 34 behind Vatanen, with Juha Kankanen's Toyota well off the pace, 8 minutes 44 behind Rawl. Reg Cook was 6th overall and 1st New Zealander, 59 seconds ahead of Malcolm Stewart's Quattro. Paul Adams led Group A from the Subarus of Tony Teasdale, Possumbourne and Mike Kirkland. The teams went for service before Parc Ferme at the end of a dusty day 1.
How has it gone today, Timo?
Today was all right and no any problems. We lost, during two stages, we lost 20 seconds per stage to Walter. He was so quick in those 2 stages, but otherwise, all right.
You said your car wasn't handling very well earlier.
No, we start with the low suspension and it was not so good handling, and then we put the normal suspension, and now car working very well.
Good. So you're happy after the first day? 16
Yes,
seconds?
yes. Long way to go still.
How was today's rally?
It was excellent. The car's gone very well. We've had one puncture that cost us 2 minutes in special stage 9. We only had it 3 kilometres from the start. But apart from that, we've had a perfect run.
And how's the competition?
Oh, the competition's excellent, as it always is. It's unfortunate Possum Bourne's had so much problems this division. But, you know, he'll definitely come back, and there's a long way to go yet.
Leg 2, and time to reflect on yesterday's events and look ahead to today's.
Walter, could you tell us a little bit about yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday it was a day with full motivation for me. I was really trying hard from beginning. Then I had this problem with my engine, which just makes my motivation more. Sometimes I was really angry and I was going like hell, but I don't think I can go this speed over 4 days.
No. What are you looking forward to today?
Okay, I will try it again now to go as fast as possible, but especially if it's raining or if it's slippery, we cannot beat them.
No.
We need dry, hard gravel roads, and we can beat them. But as soon as it starts, it's slippery, it's difficult.
So you're looking for Timo might be catching you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Well, the rally for me has been very good, except the fact the seating situation yesterday and going through the dust and making mistakes and having 8 spins in dust and knocking down spectators and photographers and things like that really wasn't a very enjoyable experience. In fact, I've crashed cars, and I would say yesterday was probably a more traumatic time for me, going through on pace notes, catching the larder every 10 Ks, taking 2 minutes off them in 10 Ks, than anything I've ever done before. I don't really want to ever do that again. It's nice to be first New Zealand, and it's nice to be ahead of Shecker, but it's not very nice doing that.
Leg 2 of 183 kilometres of special stages took the cars south of Auckland. The leg began with a 2.5 kilometre public road stage around the streets of Manukau City. Salonen set the fastest time, but the 3 leading cars were separated only by a second each. For some, however, the stage did not go quite so smoothly. Two stages in Maramarua Forest saw no dramatic change among the leaders despite the rain. Malcolm Stewart in his Quattro coped with the wet conditions well, beating Cook's Nissan in both stages. He now trailed Cook by 43 seconds. A 7-kilometre sealed stage saw Rawl increase his lead over Salonen to 26 seconds. Neil Allport simply flew his Mazda through the rain, setting equal third fastest time with Blomqvist. A short stage through the mud and rain at Mystery Creek near Hamilton brought disaster for leader Walter Rawl. He overshot a corner, his engine stopped and lost 30 seconds and the lead to Salonen. Salonen set the fastest time, his third in 5 stages so far on leg 2, and with Rawl's mistake, he went into a narrow 3-second lead. For Juha Kankkunen, the stage was even more disastrous. With memories of the problems he had last year, he found himself grinding to a halt with diff and gearbox problems. He lost 32 minutes while repairs were made. Kankkunen finally emerged, having crashed to 29th place overall. And for Toyota, any hopes they may have had of a reasonable showing ended at Mystery Creek. Jim Donald started the day in 28th place overall and began a charge that would see him in 15th place at the end of the leg. He set 5th equal fastest time in this stage.
Suit here as well, or what? That's automatic.
Ari Vartnen set 3 fastest times in the last 5 stages of Leg 2. The speeds attained by the Peugeots and Audis during the rally were staggering. Most special stages had new records set on them. Rawl was only 4th fastest in this stage, and after regaining the lead in special stage 18, he lost it again to Salonen by 15 seconds after special stage 19. Neil Allport continued his charge on leading New Zealander Reg Cook, trailing him by 60 seconds. Paul Adams continued to lead Group A, but on the second to last stage of the leg, he went off the road in soft sand and lost 50 minutes, having to be dug out by his service crew. With Tony Teasdale having several offs in the latter stages, Possum Bourne in his Subaru RX Turbo ended the day in 9th place overall and leading New Zealander in Group A. Ray Wilson completely dominated the small car class and held down 14th place overall at the end of the day. The last 2 stages were held in the forests near Tokoroa. Some of the lower order cars had some difficulty with one particular bend. With a stunning display of high-speed night driving, Volterol grabbed back 19 seconds from Salonen on the last stage to be only 23 seconds behind him at the end of the leg. Reg Cook led the New Zealanders, but Neil Allport had closed the gap to 35 seconds. Service for the Peugeot team at the end of leg 2, a day on which the lead changed 4 times.
Here we are at the end of the second day, Timo. How has the day gone?
Very well, and I'm happy and no any problems, and our speed was quite good.
Leg 3 through the forests near Rotorua. Timo Salonen increased his lead fractionally to 36 seconds over Volterall after 3 of the morning stages had been completed. Was losing time to Salonen on each stage, having increasing problems with his Audi's gearbox. Vartnen won 2 of the first 3 stages and began gradually to reduce the gap between himself and Rawle. Stig Blomqvist was unable to make any significant impression on the trio ahead of him. For Reg Cook, the day began disastrously. A blown gearbox on the first touring stage saw him lose 15 minutes. This left Neil Allport as the first New Zealander 2 minutes 36 seconds ahead of Malcolm Stewart. Juha Kankinen was making a desperate charge through the field, trying to salvage something for the Toyota team. For some of the lower order cars, the forests of Rotorua can cause all sorts of problems. The dominance of the Peugeots on the third morning was total. Salonen and Vartnen each won 3 of the morning's 7 stages, with Blomqvist and Rawle setting equal fastest times and managing to salvage 1 stage for Audi. For Volterall, it was a frustrating morning. His gearbox trouble continued, being able to select only 1 gear on one of the stages. Pressure now went on Neil Allport as the leading New Zealander. He'd been in this position on several occasions in previous internationals and failed to complete one of them. led Malcolm Stewart's Quattro by 2 minutes 19 seconds after 7 stages on leg 3. Inky Tulloch was making excellent progress. He lay 7th overall and was 3rd New Zealander. Possum Bourne was 8th overall and easily led Group A from teammate Tony Teasdale, who was 7 minutes behind him. For Audi, anxious moments as their cars pull in for service. There isn't enough time to fully repair Rawls' problem gearbox. Only 4 seconds separated the leading cars on special stage 31 as they headed towards Taupo and 3 long stages in the forests. Salonen set fastest time on 2 of the 5 stages in this part of the leg. For Volterol, the end of the leg meant much needed attention to his gearbox and an end to his frustrations of driving a partially functioning car. Continued to take time off Rawls on each stage. Blomqvist varied his pace through the day, yet went quicker overall. He won 2 stages and scored more 2nd and 3rd fastest times than on previous days. It seemed he was beginning an attack on Vartanen's 3rd placing. Neil Allport continued to lead the New Zealanders. He was driving very quickly and looks set to consolidate his 5th position overall. The last stage of the day saw Salonen with a 1 minute 43 second lead overall, with Vartanen now only 29 seconds behind Rawls. Blomqvist was only 1 minute 39 seconds behind Vartanen. Suddenly, none of the leading positions seemed secure. For Neil Allport, special stage 34 was to bring disaster. A high-speed crash, resulting in broken steering, ended his rally. Once again, Allport had failed to finish an international rally when he held the leading position. Malcolm Stewart now found himself the leading New Zealander. He had a massive 12-minute lead over Inky Tulloch, who was now second local driver. For Peugeot, the day had been a good one, with their drivers now in first and third placings.
End of the third night now, Timo, and how are things going?
Everything going very well. The car no any problems, and last few stages we did a little bit not maximum speed, and tomorrow we go flat out if it's necessary.
Here we are at the end of the third night. How do you feel about it?
Well, it could be better, it could be worse. Now we are only 29 seconds behind Walter. I would have liked to be in the front if possible, but anyway, I'm still behind him. But tomorrow we have still quite a lot of mileage left, and 29 seconds, it's not impossible task to catch up.
The Nissan team reflected on Reg Cook's unhappy day during the evening service.
It's been a bloody tough day, really tough day. We've had to work very hard. Reg has had a very unfortunate problem before the start of the first stage with his gearbox going on him. Fortunately it wasn't in the stage, and we're damn lucky. We managed to get our emergency service vehicles in there, and they did a gearbox change in 12 minutes on the side of the road. It was a brilliant effort from them. He's taken it very steady this afternoon, and this evening River Road's very dangerous. And when you think of what's happened to Neil Allport with his role in the second to last stage, it shows how dangerous it is if you try to go balls out. And you know, Reg has not gone balls out. He's driven 8 tenths, as JD has. I don't blame him.
Leg 4 began with a long touring stage from Rotorua to the Puriora Forest. In what was a decisive special stage, the Peugeot team struck. As the cars jumped their way out of the forest, Salonen was second fastest. Rawle lost time to both Peugeots. Vartnen flew through with fastest time. Blomqvist fell further behind. The Peugeot team were now first and second overall. Salonen had a 2-minute 7-second lead over Vartnen and Rawle. As the cars left for special stage 37, Salonen seemed quite relaxed, knowing that short of a major mistake, he had seemingly beaten off the Audis. He recorded only one fastest time on the whole leg. Rawle could do little to hold back the Peugeots. He could only set a series of third and fourth fastest times in the early stages of the leg. The charge on Salonen came not from Rawle, but from Salenen's teammate Vartnen. Vartnen recorded fastest times on 7 of the first 8 stages of the final leg. Malcolm Stewart found himself in a rally virtually on his own. Too far behind the leading four to challenge them, he also had a 13-minute lead over Tulloch. For Inky Tulloch, special stage 38 proved costly.
You shouldn't have let him get in front of you.
His excursion into the fence brought Reg Cook within 95 seconds, and the battle among the New Zealanders became one for second-placed local driver. Kankanen was making a charge through the field, but his Toyota refused to start in the next stage, ending a disappointing rally for the Toyota team. Special stage 39. For Peugeot, the pattern was established. Salonen led the way, content to put up second fastest time to Vartinen. Tulloch continued to fend off a rapidly closing Cook. Cook picked up a further 43 seconds on the stage to be only 52 seconds behind Tulloch. The Subarus completely dominated Group A, holding down the first four placings in the group. Possum-Bourne again showed his talent in this class, being 10 minutes ahead of Tony Teasdale, who was second. Jim Donald began the leg nearly 5 minutes down on Teasdale, but an aggressive drive saw him eventually move ahead of Teasdale by the end of the leg. A short service break for Audi. For Audi, the New Zealand Rally was an important turning point in the year's program. They had to win to keep alive any hopes of retaining their manufacturer's title. But team manager Roland Gumpert must have been concerned about the future of the whole Audi Sport Quattro program. The final 3 short stages near Auckland saw the Peugeot team taking things easy, knowing that the rally was won and giving the team their best result yet in a World Championship event. The Pukekohe racetrack, normally used for circuit racing, became the venue for a World Championship rally. The officials prepared their equipment. The rally leader, Timo Salonen, went through the motions of taking his car around the circuit on his way to his 3rd World Championship win this year and increasing his lead in the Drivers' Championship to a commanding 28 points. Possum Bourne led the Subaru clean sweep of Group A, and Ray Wilson completely demolished his opponents in the 0 to 1300cc class, finishing almost an hour ahead of the 2nd place getter in Class 5.
Thank you very much. Very good indeed. Thank you. Congratulations.
It's been a great effort over a long time, isn't it?
Yes. Very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Gotcha.
Salonen finished 1 minute 17 seconds ahead of Vartnen and 2 minutes 26 seconds ahead of Rawl. First New Zealander home, Malcolm Stewart, finished nearly 18 minutes ahead of his nearest rival, Reg Cook, but nearly 1 hour behind Salonen. Will they be the next world champions?